Hi everybody, just a quick talk quickly about this Chapoutier La Pleiade. We've just had the vertical tasting tonight of the 9, 10 and 12. What was really interesting and makes us particularly, I guess, quirky is that the critics have disagreed quite intensively about what they think about these various vintages, but it was super cool to taste it with a bunch of people tonight, blind, and to get people's reaction from it, and then to figure out what we actually liked at the end of the day. So I'm going to do it all now because I'm going to forget it in the morning. The 09 was definitely followed through about how it tasted right when I opened it at 5 o'clock, through the hour and a half of decanting and then another hour in the glass before we tasted it. At first bite, the phenolics, the nose was all Australia. It had that kind of wild animal kind of component to it. It had a lot of primary fruit, and in fact, in the early stages of opening the three vintages, it had more primary fruit than the other two. The 10 differentiated itself from the 12 in the supremely integrated tannins. There was a finesse and an integration that set it comfortably above the other two, and I think the 12 was probably somewhere in the middle. As to the flavor components of the 10 and 12, a fair amount of spice in the 12, but the 10 was more about both red and dark fruit components, of black cherries and and cranberries. There was this kind of junction between the two, but without question, the marriage of oak, fruit, and acids was immaculately good in the 2010. As to cellaring, I think the 12 is probably going to outlive all three of them. But what was super interesting at the end of the night was the consensus from the people who actually drink more Australian than French Syrah, with the view that they probably preferred the 9, which is probably calling them back to their roots. So that was a very brief, slightly slurred interpretation of Chapoutier Laughton La Pleiade from Heathcote, 2009, 10 and 12. And good night.